Let's go, baby.
Off the turn, they're 3 wide.
Battle for the lead as Hickok gets out of shape.
Bottom shot, 3 wide.
He takes the lead back. Dynamite Racing.
We are in the full swing of 2023 as we begin our second event of the season, our third day of racing the last week. It's called Before You Dig Open 81 night. 2 races in 1 week for the Open Modified Division, and that's where we're going to start our pit preview. Kyle Ricci standing by with a car and a driver that's been around for a long time.
Bonzo, we've been able to catch up with Chris Pastriak here in the pits, and I know not the week you wanted a week ago in Spring Sizzler mid-pack finish. How tough is it, though, to run back-to-back weeks here? What, 2 races in 6 days here at Stafford?
It wasn't that tough. I was really looking forward to coming to the same track twice. It seems like it's been years since I got a chance to do that, so it was kind of nice. You know, I was lucky. It was all cosmetic damage after Friday night, so beat up the tin a little bit more and try it again.
A throwback scheme this year, actually a throwback race car. Tell us, for the fans that don't know, about this car and why it's so special to you.
No, this was my uncle's car. It was actually Buck Catalano's car first. It was a 2007 Troyer car, and Carl got it from him starting in 2009. And he never raced it all that much. He only ran it here and there, and to be honest, it's kind of just been sitting until this winter. Kind of took it apart, made it as fresh as we could, but it's just a 2007 Troyer car.
And of course, losing Uncle Carl a year ago. Best of luck to you here tonight, and hopefully we can put the 75 either on the podium or, better yet, Napa Victory Lane.
That'd be nice. We got a heat race win last week anyway, so it's better than nothing.
Looking to improve on his Spring Sizzler finish here later this evening, along with the SK Modified driver that Bonza is standing by with on the other side of the pits.
Kyle, one of the heartbreakers, I guess you can say, in the SK Modifieds last week was Noah Corner and Joey Farino in the SK Lights, but otherwise we're focusing on Corner this time around. Noah, you were running so well. I know the engine issue hurt you guys, like in terms of finishing result, but what did you take away on the good side of things with how the car drove?
The positive side of things is Keith Rocco set up a rocket ship. The car was great. It drove from 11th up to 4th. We were reeling in Corey in 3rd. I don't know if we would have gotten to him with 3 laps to go, but it was just a little disappointing to have such a nice finish. Great way to start the year, especially after last year. Just right there and then taken right away.
So how much work had to be done during the week to get ready for today?
A lot. Joey, my father, they busted their tails to get this motor down, sent to Pettit. Pettit went through it. We got it back late Wednesday night. Joey, Brain, my dad, he got it in. They went home at 2 in the morning, and we're here today. I mean, we're even putting the carburetor on right now as we speak.
That's Noah Corner looking for a little more luck in the SK Modifieds this week. Mind you, he did really good in the Spring Sizzler Open Modified race with a top 10 result there. Now we're going to switch over to the late model pits, where Kyle Ricci standing by with one driver who scored a top 10 in that division.
And Bonza here in the late model pits, able to catch up with Bobby Strick III, who is back in the late model here last week in his return to the series. 8th a week ago. What was the big takeaway from opening day?
Honestly, it wasn't much different than the street stock. We lost radio communication on like lap 2, and you know, street stocks don't run radios, and I only had race control, so no spotter out there. It was different. It was interesting. It was nice to be back in the late model. Nice to have all that power again, but humbling, because man, I mean, we were either hit or miss last year, and to be a mid-pack car this year is it's gonna be a little humbling, but I'm looking forward to it, and I think we got a really good car. You know, Jay Stewart went and did his magic to this metric car, and we're going to go out there and have some fun this year, and hopefully go for Rookie of the Year. It's going to be a little hard with Alexandra, you know, going against her, but you know, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time.
Do you change anything up tonight based on what you learned a week ago?
Yeah, new radios.
That's it. That's all we need. Bobby Stirk, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Let's now head over back to the SK Light Pits, and Bonza, who's with a driver, also looking for some improved luck here later tonight.
Kyle, one of the hidden good performances last week was by this guy, Nick Anglais in the SK Light Modifieds, finishing in 4th. Came close to a podium, Nick. First race this year, what'd you take away from it?
Not to overdrive the car. I mean, we came from 14th all the way up to, it should have been 3rd. You know, very rarely do I make a mistake, but in this case it cost me a podium finish. But ultimately, in the offseason, we didn't even work on this thing. We were so focused on the open car that even the oil, to this day, is still the same as we ran last year. We didn't change anything. We came up here just trying to shake it down, and we went from 14th to what should have been 3rd. So
what'd you take away in terms of handling? What more do you think you need for this upcoming week? I know you really want to get back to victory lane. It's been a minute, so what more does this car need, do you think, today to find victory lane?
Thanks for the reminder. I don't think it's anything that the car can do. You know, we got this thing dialed in at the end of last year, and we almost had 3 in a row podium finishes. So, including the last time out, 3rd at the fall final. So I don't think it's anything the car can do. I think it's just up to me and making my way through this field. You know, every week it gets bigger and bigger, and the competition gets harder and harder. So just gotta be able to get through it quick enough because there are only 20 laps. So.
And Nick Anglais loves to roll the top, so watch out for this white 10 car rolling on the outside during the feature. Now we're gonna go to the limited late model pits with Kyle.
Bond's able to catch up with Devin Jensick, who had an early good run last week in the feature event. Started on the pole, led some laps, and then what happened there in the second half on that restart?
The car was struggling a little bit. We didn't have it going the way we wanted it to. I guess there was like a clog in the fuel line or something that we spent the week trying to fix, and hopefully we got it fixed. And then at the end, there was a mishap between me and the 87, and we both ended up in the wall, and that's how the race ended.
Testing out the new safer wall up in turns 1 and 2. How was the car damage-wise? How much time was spent fixing the car and also trying to diagnose the other issues?
The car wasn't bad. The front end got pushed in a little bit, but nothing like too crazy. And then we redid the fuel filter, took the carburetor off, took everything apart, and hopefully we solved the issue regarding the fuel problem.
Best luck to you here tonight.
Thank you very much.
Devin Jensick looking to move back into the top 5, where we saw him a lot a year ago. One driver in the top 5, and one of his first starts here at the Speedway in the street stocks is with Bonza.
Kyle, we had several drivers in the street stocks make their Stafford Speedway debut, and one of them is right next to me, Aaron Clemens, who started 20th in the feature and finished 4th. The only time you competed in a Stafford race was back when we had East Stafford Speedway in the pandemic. How are you able to get through the field and learn so quickly about this track?
I really don't know. We weren't that great all day in practice, and we just tried something for the feature, and it actually worked. I finally found grip in this track. We were learning. I actually learned how to drive the track halfway through the race, so that helped. And yeah, just had a good setup car finally, and try again today.
What more do you think you need from last week to today to get that podium?
Probably just a little bit more seat time. We have a heat race. What didn't help me last week, my first time here, they didn't have a heat race, which is 2 practices, whatever. It's a tough track to learn. Compared to Bowl and Thompson, this track's completely different. So a little bit more seat time, a little bit more tune, which I think we did this week. I think we got a good car today. So we'll see how it goes.
That's Aaron Clemens impressing many by finishing 4th last week. One more and he's in the podium. Well, it's time to go racing. It's Call Before You Dig 81 night with Kyle Rickey and Ben Dodge on the call.
Well, once again, good evening and welcome to night or event number 2, depending on how you look at it. The Call Before You Dig program, the display is set up at the entrance where you came through the ticket booth. We just saw the young gentleman Moeller over there signing autographs for you, the race fans, and some complimentary items as well. It's going to be a great night of racing. As usual, the paddock area is bulging at the seams with cars in all the divisions of competition. Nobody has been running away with it. Kyle Rickey is alongside, and Kyle, you saw it like what I saw. There are some surprises in tonight's practice session, but they all know what the racetrack conditions will be under daylight. But will it change under the night lights? Most of the competitors said yes, it will.
And that's something we have talked to drivers about over the last couple of seasons here at the Speedway, is practicing in the heat of the day. Granted, it wasn't overly hot here this afternoon, right at about 74 or so degrees. The heat races that we'll see here in a little bit for a couple of the divisions going to be about similar, but it's the feature events later tonight when that sun goes completely down, the lights come on, and the track temperature goes down. That's where we will see the big changes, if there are any big big changes to be seen here today, and relatively cool mid-May afternoon.
It certainly is. As you know, we're looking at our stats for the Speedway. Conditions are ideal. Cool means fast. That's simple as it is. When you got temperatures that are a little bit cooler, the car and the carburetor breathes better, and it is a quick way to get around this facility. You know, the story tonight is, I think a lot of people are looking at Woody Pitcat in the Call Before You Dig event for the Tour Type Open Modifieds. Pitcat was the dominant car 1 year ago. He was very quick in practice today, but equally as impressive, some side stories that went down is Lutz was very strong in the 00. Rafano has 2 cars in the paddock area that he's planning on competing with. One, the best one. He's got the brand new Bear Raceworks chassis, number 14, the familiar Bear Calaccio colors on that, and the Rafano, of course, traditional Wheeler's automotive car. Him and his dad were over there working feverishly. Todd Owen had a week that, well, there's no question about it. If he had to punch a clock, he would have punched in and never punched out until it was time to come back here to the Speedway, as he was responsible for fixing over 7 different race cars for this evening's presentation. And when we say fix them, we mean they were dropped off, and it was up to him and his group of associates and friends to put them all back together and make them new all over again. So a lot of different side stories, as we said before. You know, we look at the biggest field in the house. Again, it's the SK Lights. A week ago, Brian Sullivan was the dominant car as a former champion in that neon orange number 46 car sponsored by Monaco Ford. Tyler Berry, very impressive. He is, of course, a champion in his own right. And Alexander Pearl moved to the top of the charts in the final practice session of the day. So, Kyle, that's just a sample of what we can expect. Who do you think the fastest girl in our SK Light division was?
Yeah, there's a lot of ladies tonight in our SK Light class, as there usually is. Cassandra Cole looked good. Amanda West, she looked fast in practice. Somebody that had a lot of issues last week.
Yes,
None of her own making.
No.
Wrong place at the wrong time for the feature, but I don't think she would have been at the back of the feature at the start if it wasn't for a heat race incident where the tire came off the rim. We thought at the time it was a flat tire, but I talked to her dad here on Monday night for Wild Thing Cards, and he's like, no, it wasn't a flat. It came off the rim. So they got that squared away. She looked good in practice here earlier this evening.
Very strong in the final practice. She was among the quickest of the female contingents. Cassandra Cole always is strong as well. So we're in for a great night of racing. As we direct your attention, coming onto the racetrack in turn number 3 will be our first division of the night. They are the limited late models. There'll be 2 qualifying rounds for these cars. The story is pretty much simple. They will go the distance of 5 laps and 5 cars to transfer among the handicap system. Here's Kyle Rickey with the starting lineup.
Starting on the pole, heat race number 1, car number 87 from Wellington, Connecticut, the Casa Grande Builders Chevrolet for Damian Pilardi.
On the outside of that row is car number 22 from New Hartford, Connecticut. It'll be the Days Cannabis Machine for Gary Patnode.
Third starter, car number 28 from Tolland, Connecticut, the Wheelers Auto Parts Napa Chevrolet for Rich Hammond.
Keep your eyes on this driver. He showed he can get the job done. The Utility Service of New England. Number 59 from Wethersfield, Connecticut for Matt Clement.
Inside of row number 3, car number 42 from Durham, Connecticut, the Daddy O'Honey Chevrolet for Dana Ray.
Outside of that row, you've already seen him on the big screen driving the ARI spray foam car from Canton, Connecticut. It'll be car number 17 for Connor Jensick.
And the inside of row number 4, car number 82 from Harrisville, Rhode Island, the SRD Motorsports Chevrolet for Samantha Dell.
And starting in the scratch position, this gentleman moved up from the street stocks where he was a solid competitor, the CSB Communications car. From Plainville, Connecticut, Susan Paradis owns the car. Adrian Paradis III is the driver of car number 19.
Want to say hello to everybody for tuning us in on our Facebook live feed. We'll be with you for a couple of the heat races before we get ready for the feature events here later this afternoon. And, of course, all of our folks tuning us in on FloRacing. A big hello and welcome to the Stafford Motor Speedway on this Friday night.
It sure is, as they come off turn number 4, and with the snap of the wrist from the starter's stand, the first of the qualifying events for these cars are about to go green. Little power assist as they rumble down into turn number 1, but car number 87, Damon Pilardi, shows it's no fluke. The gentleman that literally visits victory lane last year wearing a big All-American cowboy hat painted red, white, and blue, and he's got the car to match. Off the turn, single file, 5, remember, is the magic number.
Lap 1 in the books. Damian Pilardi will lead it over Gary Patnote in the second spot, who finds some pressure from Rich Hammond to the outside. Limited late models like the outside lane a week ago, especially on starts and restarts. It looks like Hammond testing the waters there a half a lap ago, and once again this time through turn number 4.
Well, Hammond is very, very strong as he makes his presence known. Forward champion in his own right, the Napa of Tallinn, the Wheelers car, moves to the outside of the racetrack, bid for that third position. Car number 59, Matt Clement, showing it was no fluke. But look at Hammond. Steps on the gas, dive bombs to the inside. Patnote can't believe his eyes. He made it look so simple, and here comes Clement. Gold car inside, challenging for position number 3.
Last week's winner, black flag for the 59 when he crossed the line a moment ago. Clement off the pace while running among the top 3. That car will slow down the back straightaway and pull to the pit lane as the rest of the field will receive the white flag, this time by from the starter stand.
Final circuit, and Damon Pilardi has shown that he not only can get the job done, setting a blistering pace out front, fastest car on the racetrack, 22.256, and that's a pretty impressive time, Kyle, for a limited late model competitor. Going, gone as the black and whites are soon to wave off turn number 4. Checkered flag is out. Damon Pilardi will take down the top spot. Rich Hammond, car number 28, is second. Adrian Paradis will finish in the 3rd spot. And rounding out our field to finish in the 3rd position is Gary Patnote, Adrian Paradis for the 4th spot, and Connor Jensick to round out the top 5. Samantha Dell and, of course, Matt Clement receiving the consultation flag there. Want to welcome each and every one of you on behalf of the good folks from Monaco Ford, the official safety vehicles providers here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. There are 2 Monaco Ford locations, one in Glastonbury, Connecticut, and one in Niantic, Connecticut. Make sure you tell them that you heard about it here at Stafford, and you will receive a special discount on your next new or used vehicle, or even a repair, even as something as simple as an oil change. Here's Kyle Rickey with qualifier, limited late model number 2.
Starting on the pole for this second qualifier, car number 23 from Canton, Connecticut, the Genco Construction entry for Devin Jensick.
Gendron Auto Parts brings us the Garrett Carpentry car number 14 from Agawam, Massachusetts. Starting outside of that row, it'll be Kevin Cormier.
Last week's runner-up finisher will start from 3rd, car number 6 from Windsor Locks, Connecticut, the Lavoie Racing Ford for Jeremy Lavoie.
Car number 74 is up next. That's the Bears Cleaning Service car. Matt Winter owns the car from Springfield, Vermont. The driver of the 74 is Matthew Winters II.
5th starter, car number 18 from Wethersfield, Connecticut, the Utility Services of New England Chevrolet for Scott Clemens.
In the 6th starting spot, it'll be car number 10, GP Fence from Mansfield, Massachusetts. Gary Patnote owns the car, and Pete Slavin drives the number 10.
And rounding out the 7-car field, car number 20 from New Salem, Connecticut, the Doug's Home Improvements Chevrolet for Christopher Phelps.
Well, they're single file behind the pace car on the starter's stand, checking things over. Our 2 starters for this evening's presentation. It is Mike Helberg, center stage with Ryan Callum. Callum up right behind him, and they are tightening the field up. We remind you that this evening's program, like all the events, are brought to you by your local Napa Auto Parts store, where Napa know-how is more than a phrase, it's a way of life. Check out the blue, gold, and white at your local Napa store. Please tell them that you heard about it here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Lights are off from Wheeland Engineering on the safety vehicle at the point. Here's Kyle Rickey to bring him to the green. 2nd qualifying round. These are the limited late models live from the Stafford Motor Speedway.
Heavy hitters at the front of the field, Devin Jensick, Kevin Cormier, Jeremy Lavoie, all winners a year ago. Green is out, we are underway. 74 does not come up to speed and gets hooked here on the front stretch. That is Matthew Winter. Looks like Pete Slavin got into him just past the start-finish line, turning Winter into the outside wall, and the caution flag comes out.
Well, he literally rode that retaining wall all the way down to the gate where you literally go off the racetrack, a tough way to get started, and you can see from our vantage point, even though it looked like something as minor as a scuff, that scuff cost a lot, and there is a lot of damage done to the right side of that race car as well. You know, each and every Friday night we do it all over again here at Stafford, and we remind you, if you haven't already done so, to make sure you start thinking about the May 26th event coming up. The SK Light Double Down is going to be taking place as the SK Lights will take center stage here at the Speedway for the first of two 40-lap feature events. In addition to that, the SK Modifieds, the late models, the limited late models, and the street stocks will all be part of the festivities. But the headliners for the feature action will be the SK Light cars. Let's take a look at the replay and see if we can figure this one out, Kyle. Coming off the turn, they're pretty normal, 2x2, 3 wide, and that's where the situation occurs, almost like he wasn't aware that somebody was alongside of him. When he found out, he made a reaction, and that reaction was not a positive one, it was a negative.
Matt Winter, 18 years of age, from Springfield, Vermont, a rookie this season here at the Speedway, and another one of our competitors that have graduated from the Monday night Wild Thing carts that run here weekly throughout the summer months. Fortunately, he's not even getting to turn number 1 for Winter. That car will go off on the hook. And a black flag shown to the 10 here on the front straightaway for his involvement in the incident here on the front stretch.
Now remember, all 7 cars will be in the handicap positions. 5 laps will be the distance and so forth. We apologize for those of you tuning in on Flow. Also, they're telling us that there is some kind of a little bit of an echo or feedback. They'll be working on that and adjusting it for your enjoyment as well. So there we go, and you can see the extensive damage done to the right front of the number 74 car as it's being hooked and now in the center of the infield area. So we're going to try it again, doubling the field back up. Our program this evening is unique in the fact that we will be running qualifying events for some of the divisions. Some are pre-qualified, and then the plus or minus system will come into play as well. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentation, whether you're watching at home on Flow or you're here with us at the Speedway. Please remember, while you're here at the Speedway or even at home, please feel free to use all forms of social media to be sending it out and inviting everyone to join in with you, whether it's from your living room on FloRacing or it's right here with us at the Speedway. Plenty of seats still available, and we'd love to see you. There's no better way to see it than to come and see it live and feel the intensity and the sounds here at the Speedway. In a festival atmosphere, the Midway is loaded with great food and much, much more.
Back to green off of turn number 4, and at the front of the field, Devin Jensick once again brings him to turn number 1 as Kevin Cormier gets the momentum built in that outside lane. Jeremy Lavoie all by himself in the 3rd spot, and it's a bit of a gap back to Christopher Phelps, unchallenged in 4th. Coming around to complete lap number 1.
A great battle going on. Devin Jensick is, of course, the gentleman that was looking so racy just a half a lap ago, but then suddenly all of that mysteriously changes. And when that goes down, everything seems to look a little different. So out in front, Kevin Cormier. Remember, a week ago, he was very, very strong and then had some mechanical woes, but that's not the story today. And when you can run and Jeremy Lavoie is nipping at your heels, you know you've got a good race car and a contender tonight, because Lavoie has closed up that gap to less than 2 cars.
To the back straightaway they go. Lap 2 about to click off, and Lavoie closing in. Lap 3 rather. It's going to be 2 to go this time by. Lavoie now within 1 car length of Kevin Cormier, both at the front of the field, pulling away from Devin Jensick in 3rd. Christopher Phelps still in 4th. And then that 10 car for Pete Slavin rounding out the front 5 It'll be the white flag this time by. Lavoie will have one final shot at him here in the next lap in one corner.
No question about it. If you're looking at timing and scoring, it shows Devin Jensick was the leader. That suddenly changes on the white flag lap on the board, and it is Kevin Cormier who's really trying to shake off Lavoie. Lavoie's giving it his all as he goes down the back straightaway. Cormier has a little more giddy up coming off the turn, but Lavoie plants it deep with his foot right on the throttle as the checkered flag comes out, and it will be right down to the wire. And of course, a great run for car number 14, Kevin Cormier, to take down the win. Jeremy Lavoie in for second. Devin Jensick to finish in third. And rounding out the top four is Christopher Phelps with car number 20. Kyle?
Pete Slavin rounded out the front five in fifth, and it was Scott Clement and Matt Winter who was unable to complete a lap after that incident at the start of the 5-lap heat race. So the limiteds are in the books.
And coming up next will be our 2 qualifying rounds for the Street Stock division. Now, you might have wondered why these 2 divisions are running qualifying events. The answer is simple. They did not have the opportunity to do so during Spring Sizzler weekend. Therefore, in all fairness to them, like the other divisions, this is a chance for them to qualify through their qualifying heat procedure. The distance will be, again, 5 laps of qualifying. Cars for the handicap will be 7. Car number 42 will be starting at the point. The PJ Ladola and Sons Electrical Contractors JRT Motorsports car from Barkhamsted, Connecticut. It is Travis Downey.
On the outside of the front row, car number 69 from Belchertown, Massachusetts, the Vanished Valley Brewing Chevrolet for Bill Cody.
Row number 2 to the inside, car number 21, Tri-State Equipment Repair brings us from Somers, Connecticut. It is Jason Lafayette.
Car number 37 will go next from Columbia, Connecticut, the Charlie's Towing entry for David Mesha Sr.
This guy had a podium run. He's full of enthusiastic charge. It'll be the Jet Electric Machine. Jason Trott owns the race car from Ellington, Connecticut, car 51 for Bert Ouellette.
Last week's winner will go to the outside of row number 3, car number 31 from Danielson, Connecticut, the Fairway Mortgage and Mike Rogers team entry for Ryan Waterman.
4 rows back to the inside, starting position number 7 is car number 38. This is the Ryan Dyer YouTube channel machine. Kyle Johnson owns it from Scranton, Pennsylvania. It is Patrick Jentz, the 38.
So the outside of Jenks, car number 18 from Naugatuck, Connecticut, the PS Engines entry for Cindy Sturk.
Another second-generation driver, the Marks Property Maintenance car. G. Perry owns the car. From West Suffield, Connecticut, is Ryan Perry, car number 83.
10th starter, another driver that had a really good run in his debut last week, car 67 from Uncasville, Connecticut, the Faith Construction Chevrolet for Aaron Plemons.
So there you have it. Our field is set, and we are ready to go racing. This is the first of 2 qualifying rounds for this evening's presentation. So, field is doubled up, 2 by 2. Here they come off turn number 4. These are the Street Stocks. They put together some incredible racing every time out here at the Speedway. Off turn number 4, and the green flag is out in car 42. Travis Downey wastes no time at all. The white and green automobile setting a blistering pace. Bill Cody right there nipping at the heels, and then it's Jason Lafayette among the top 3 cars.
Travis just wanting to complete a lap in the feature after a half-a-lap incident last week for Travis in the 42. He'll lead lap number 1 here in the heat race tonight over Cody in second. Lafayette right there in third in the 21. Then it's Bert Ouellette in the 51, finding some pressure from Waterman to his inside in a race for 4th.
You know, Waterman was so strong last weekend. It is hard to believe that he won't be among the top cars contending, and he's showing some muscle. Inside run, nice move to go around Bert Ouellette. Now remember, Ouellette finished on the podium also, so he's right there in good company. They work their magic, 5 cars, single file. All of a sudden, the 21 of Jason Lafayette is moving in on Bill Cody. Cody manages to hold on for second, but Travis Downey is gone at the front of the field. 2 laps to go, 1 mile left in the competition here.
This one zipping right along. The race for second appears to be the best right now. Cody in the 69, first car on your screen. Lafayette in the 21, and he's finding some pressure from Waterman and the 51 of Bert Ouellette as they single out for second on back. race leader is gone and about to see the white flag for Travis Downey.
Well, Travis Downey showing he's got plenty of muscle. Fastest car on the racetrack in this qualifying event, 23.016. He continues to pick up the pace as he dive bombs down into turn number 3. This is the final circuit off the turn. Great run for this driver. It is Travis Downey taking down the win with no problems. 69, and Bill Cody will finish in second. Jason Lafayette, car 21 for third. Ryan Waterman, last week's winner, will finish in the 4th spot, car 31. And Bert Ouellette will finish in position number 5.
Then it was Aaron Clemens in 6 as Cindy Sturck had an issue on the final lap coming to the checkered. Behind Clemens in 6 was David Mesha Sr. in 7th, Ryan Perry 8th, Patrick Jenks 9th, and Cindy Sturck will get a top 10 finish and finish in the 10th spot when she gets that car righted and crosses the line. Joshua Lizia Zuan in car number 26 in the Renter Racer here tonight finished in the 11th position.
So there you have it. Round number 1 and our Street Stocks is now complete. If you've been watching on Facebook Live, we welcome each and every one of you. Remember, you might think about subscribing if you haven't already done so to FloRacing, the official live streaming partners, if you like what you see. Second qualifying round, car number 80 will be starting on the outside of the front row, the back road Smokin' Barbecue Machine. Jason Trott owns the car from East Hartford, Connecticut. It is Tyler Trott.
Then it's going to be car number 36 to the outside of the front row from Columbia, Connecticut, the Mesha's Landscaping Chevrolet for David Mesha Jr.
Then it's the Moose Hillock Camping Resorts machine. Johnny Walker is the owner of the car from Agawam, Massachusetts. He too is a former champion. Car number 01 for Johnny Walker.
Car number 71 goes next from Stamford, Connecticut, the Rico's Pizza Chevrolet for Marvin Minkler.
3 goes back to the inside, the Hydar Construction Machine from Woodbury, Connecticut. Car number 11, it is Travis Hydar.
6 starter, car number 15 from Ware, Massachusetts, the Dustbuster Duct Cleaning entry for Sean Petlock.
Row number 4, starting position number 7. It will be the tile, chef floor, and wall coverings car. From Somers, Connecticut, it is Jason Raymond, car 49.
8th starter, car number 7 from Granby, Massachusetts, the All-Star Duct Solutions entry for Jeff Aslin.
Then we go to car number 16. Keep your eyes on the Busy Bees Learning Center car. Christina Hovey owns the car. From Chaplin, Connecticut, Walter Hovey Jr.
And then the number 22, another one of those rent-a-race cars out on the racetrack. Behind the wheel tonight in the 22 will be Cody Randall.
So there you have it. Field is set, and we're about ready to get them fired up again. And this will commence with our second and final qualifying round for the Street Stock division. So get ready. More to come. Coming up very, very shortly is qualifying action for the Tour Type Open Modifieds and much, much more. Here we go. Off turn number 4. Green flag is about to come out. It does, and the inside lane takes advantage of things as Tyler Trott puts that neon orange and black car to the front of the field. Quickly, the car that was on the outside drifts all the way back. Johnny Walker moves into second, and right behind him is Travis Hydar. Now, Walker and Hydar and Tyler Trott, they've been there and done that here before, and they are among the fiercest street stock competitors we have in this division.
Johnny Walker says they spent a lot of time this week working on that race car, currently up to second right now after leaving the racetrack disappointed last Friday. Has a lot of pressure right now from Travis Hydar, the defending and reigning champion in car number 11, both chasing Tyler Trott, who's about to come off turn 4 to lead lap number 2 in that 80.
Well, Travis Hydar tries just about everything imaginable. The purple and yellow almost looks like an Easter Bunny type look as their nose to tail. Stepping out to the outside, Travis Hydar thinks twice about it. Then it is Johnny Walker who makes a bold bid to the bottom. Orange number 01, like the Dukes of Hazzard type move, but it doesn't pay off.
2 laps to go for Walker to make a move on Trott, who has led all the laps just far. 3 laps into this event for the Street Stockers as Marvin Minkler goes around in turn number 1. Has some help in Walt Hovey in the 16, or at least Hovey was collected in the incident. Hovey coming off a top 5 run a week ago. Marvin Minkler in the 71 backing that car down the banking.
Not a great way to get started here this evening, and he too is usually exceptionally strong as well. So we're going to tighten things back up. 3 of 5. There you have the rundown as you look up on the big board, presented to you in parts by the good folks from Napa Auto Parts, your local Napa Auto Parts store. Remind you, if you haven't already done so, when purchasing parts at Napa, tell them that you were here at the Stafford Speedway, and of course you came to their store because of their involvement in racing here at Stafford.
Should be quick cleanup over in turn number 1. Minkler has been able to pull away, and will catch up at the tail end of the field in the 71 car. While Hovey was able to pull away as well in the 16, as we'll get a look at exactly what happened up on the big screen.
And it really was 2 cars looking for the same airspace on the racetrack. It started out to be the bottom of turn number 1. They both came together. One resulted in being left behind and the other one got away, but they both are forced to be towards the back of the field. Now remember, you want to be among the top 7 positions. All cars will transfer, but only 7 will get the preferred starting spots in the main event, and that is what is referred to as the handicap. Here we go. No handicap now. It's all-out racing as they rumble off turn number 4. There is the green, and down to the line, deja vu. Tyler Trott is there, but he's getting a little bit of an assist from Travis Hydar. Hydar runs on his back bumper, nose to tail. Stuck on the outside is Walker. Down the back straightaway, Walker goes from 1st to 3rd to almost 4th.
Walker going to get back into line in 3rd, just in front of David Mesha as they come off of turn number 4. Jeff Aslan, a bit out of shape in the 7, corrects the car. He's okay. White flag, battle for the lead is side by side. Here comes Hydar to the inside of Trott for the top spot.
No question. It is a great race up front, and Tyler Trott was there for a while, but car number 11, Travis Hydar, is moved to the top of the board. Off turn number 4, black and white with Sunoco at the center of the flag, and it is Travis Hydar to take down the win. Tyler Trott to finish in the runner-up spot. Johnny Walker to finish in 3rd. David Masha to finish in the 4th spot. And Walt Hovey to come back for position number 5. 2 more for the handicap, Kyle, and then the rest will transfer.
And those other 2 were Sean Petlock and Jeff Aslan in the 7 unofficially. Then it was Marvin Minkler, Jason Raymond, and Cody Randall. The 10 cars to finish the qualifying heat race number 2 for the street stocks, as they now will head back to the pit area and prepare for their main event here coming up later on this evening.
And coming up next in our program was what will be called tonight the fastest division of the night, the Tour Type Modifieds that competed in the program just literally 1 week ago. And the car that comes onto the racetrack first is the number 14 automobile. That's a brand new race car for Bear Colaccio and Wheelers Automotive. From North Haven, Connecticut, it was quick and its first time ever on the racetrack. Would you welcome car 14 for Marcello Rafano.
Outside of the front row, car number 51 from Plymouth, Connecticut, the dependable energy entry for Joey Cipriano.
Carrying the colors of the legendary Wade Cole, the A&D portable rentals machine from Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Would you welcome car 33 for Austin Bissett.
Car number 50 will go next from Agawam, Massachusetts. Outside that second row will be Jeff Gallup.
The 9 New Jersey will be next on the grid. That's the Martino Race Engines car from Red Bank, New Jersey, Tommy Martino Jr., a standout at Wall Stadium.
6 starter, it's the 01 from Center Morex, New York, the Checker One Manufacturing LLC entry for Artie Peterson III.
Another tribute car. He won his qualifying heat in our pre-race interview. He said he thinks he's got a better car today. The Dolly's Collision, a custom CCP Racing Enterprises car from Moosom, Connecticut. Car 75 for Chris Pastriak.
And rounding out the 8-car field here in heat race number 1 of 3, car number 43 from Madison, Connecticut, the Sealer Properties entry for Devin O'Connell.
The story is 10 laps, 5 cars to be among the handicap. However, this is a plus or minus type event. So the more cars you pass, the better you increase your average. plain and simple. It sounds complicated, but in reality, it's a pretty good game to get you into the main event. Brand new car, built by Eddie Flenke and Raceworks. It was originally scheduled to be driven by one of the top drivers, which is Rob Summers. And taking over the ride, brand new car, first time out, it is car number 14, the leader of the pack.
Marcello Rufrano will lead lap number 1 in that 14 car. Jeff Gallup now finding a little bit of pressure from Joey Cipriano for the second spot. Chris Pastriak in fourth. And car number 75 as they swing off of turn 4 to complete lap 2.
Well, when they come back to the line, it was Jeff Gallup who practiced all afternoon here. He's a double dipper. He races on both asphalt and dirt. And he says even though he loves Stafford, he loves running on the dirt at Lebanon Valley. Joey Cipriano, different engine combination in this car. They call the motor an economy engine that they use very prevalently in Southern Super Late models. Keep your eyes on Cipriano. He cut his teeth here at Stafford in the SK Lights, making a bold move to the inside with car number 51. As Gallup is forced to back out of it, and Joey Cipriano quickly moves into the catbird seat.
Gallup back to third, Chris Pastriak in fourth, Austin Bissett will round out the top 5. They are all chasing Marcello Rufrano, who did not have the best of luck a weekend ago, losing not one but 2 motors over the course of the weekend. He goes back to turn number 1 right now at the front of the field in that 14 car, a different car than what he raced just 7 days or 6 days ago here, doing a nice job fending off Joey Cipriano in second.
That car was instantly fast. They went out in the first practice of the day. They had some minor, well, things you would expect out of a brand new race car, and he is setting a blistering pace. Bear Calaccio was a legendary setup man in car owner. That's the famed Bear Motorsports number 14. And in showing well, Marcello Rufrano is the standout young contender, and so is it Joey Cipriano. Down on pit road, car number 31 is off the pace. Heartbreaker for Noah Corner. That kid was very, very strong just a week ago. But now as they come back to the line, Kyle, Cipriano is trying to reel him in.
Yeah, that's a backup motor for the 31 of Noah Corner for his SK after some issues in practice earlier today. Just making sure that backup motor is okay for the feature event later tonight for the SK Modifieds, as the battle for the lead is in turn number 3 between Marcello Rufrano and Joey Cipriano. 1 and 2 with the white flag out, 1 lap to go.
Final circuit, bottom shot move. Will Cipriano have enough giddy up? Down into turn number 3, high or low? Let's see what's going to happen. Rufrano takes it deep into the turn. Off the 4th turn. Great start for a brand new race car. Qualifying round number 1. Marcello Rufrano will take down the win. Joey Cipriano will finish in second. Good run for Jeff Gallup to finish in third. Chris Pastriak for 4th. And Kyle, we've got one more in the top 5 transfer.
That is Austin Bissett in the 5th spot.